So this is going to be the tutorial on how to do the overlays for your portrait photos that you're going to do. Now, doing these overlays is going to be kind of like a combination of everything we've learned in class. So you're going to be using layer masks, and then you're going to be thinking about how to edit your colors and the contrast, and pretty much everything we've done in class so far you're going to be using for this particular assignment. So after you're done planning out your what kind of photos you want to take, and you talk with the partner about what kind of photos you're going to work on for next class. For the remainder of the class, I just want you to spend some time to just experiment and play around with the overlays. This will help to give you a better idea of how you want to do your portrait photos. So the example that I'm showing you right now, this is the picture that I showed you on the Google Classroom you did for warm-up. But basically the way the portrait overlay assignment works is you're going to have one portrait of your partner, and it's going to be a close-up picture of them. And the other images kind of focus on the idea of kind of like a certain event or a hobby that they are really interested in. So pretty much when you look at the photo, you should have a good idea of what kind of a person that is, what they really enjoy, what's their passion, or what's an important event in their life. So in this particular example, I went with the theme on dancing. So there's like images of the girl being real little. She looks like she's doing ballerina, and as she's getting older in this picture, there's different examples of her dancing in the different parts of her life. So basically, with these portrait photos, instead of us taking a regular portrait photo, I want you to try to attempt to tell a story with the photo. So you can kind of just play around and experiment with the pictures. So I'm going to give you the same exact pictures. It's going to be about 5 of them. And you can use these pictures to just try your best to construct your own portrait design. So basically you're gonna open up Adobe Photoshop, and your main image is gonna be the the black and white image. So I'm just gonna click and drag that onto Photoshop, and I'm gonna use this as my primary image. So the primary image is gonna be the one portrait photo of the person. So now, in order to do the overlays, you're gonna add the other photos here. So I'm gonna click and drag this one with the little girl, and just when you click and drag, you can resize the image and double click it to get rid of the picture. Now at this point here, obviously you're gonna need to do some layer masks to get rid of some parts of the image. So what I did for this picture in particular, I just did layer mask, reveal all, and remember to use this method when erasing your background. And basically all I did here was just change the opacity to 30. Just remember the opacity erases a little bit at a time, and I just kind of erased the parts of the background that I didn't need. So I didn't need all of this space here. Just take your time, just erase it. And the most important part is the the girls on the background. And then if you just remember, if you erase too much of it, like right here, I kind of erased a little too much. You can flip it to the white and bring back some of the image. So the example that I did, I kind of put them up here. So let me just erase a little more with the black. Now the overlaying process isn't really that difficult to do. It's just more about when you're working on this assignment, it's more about thinking carefully about where you're going to place your image, where it fits best. And, think about those guidelines that we learned, such as leading lines and rule of thirds. I think that's going to play a big, important role with how you're arranging your image. So, right here, the way you're going to change your overlays is you're going to click on layers, and you have and these are all different overlays for your layer. So each of these is a little different thing. If you click down to darken and multiply, that basically just makes your image a little more see-through. You don't want to use that one. So you kind of have to play around with all these different options, but the screen and light, for example, screen, that's going to make it pop out more. And linear dodge, yeah, you kind of just have to play around with all these until you find an effect you like. So I usually like playing around with the screen and then just fade it out a little bit. So the screen just lines up the picture a little bit more, so let me just show you the difference. Oops. So this isn't how it looks normally, and this is how it looks with screen. It's not that much of a big of a difference, but it does pop out the image a little bit more. I'm going to keep it on normal, just because it looks normal that way. And then all you're going to do is just play around with the opacity here. Now, if you want to, okay, let me show you the overlay part. So that's going to be the part where it's more transparent on the picture. So in the darker areas, I would either keep it normal, or you can use screen, or one of these other options that either lightens or darkens up the picture a little bit more. But for this example here, I'm going to do layers, layer mask, reveal all. Just erase the parts that I don't need. So just remember, it's real important to, just erase what you don't need in the picture, because they will affect your picture in some shape or form. Might get this a little bit thicker, so I can erase more at a time. Alright, but the overlay, and again, take your time with this. I'm doing this real quickly, but when you click on the layers again, and this time I'm going to change it to overlay, this is going to make the picture more see-through. And again, this is kind of like one of those, times where you just have to pick and choose an area to put your picture. So I could put it up there, and if it's a little too dark, then you can line it up more. And again, you got to click on the layer mask, and it looks like I lost some of her face in this picture, so I got to bring that face back a little bit more. Make this brush a little bit smaller. And this is kind of like where you just play around with the picture, but keep in mind of your layers and the layers that you're working on. So I'm working on this layer here. I'm trying to clean up the the background of the picture. Looks like I erased a little too much at a time. So you go back to the opacity. Just remember, it's going to erase a little bit at a time. And you want to have that nice gradual change from the one picture to the next. So just play around with it until you get and then if you want to add like I did a blue tint on my picture. The way I did that blue tint was I created a new layer, and on an entire layer I just made it blue. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can do it this way, where you make the whole picture blue. Just change the opacity down. Or if you want another way, you can do that too. Is just go to the adjustments panel, and you can change the hue into blue. Well, actually I might change it a little bit red. But I always like playing around the color balance more. So just play around with the overlays, see what kind of effects you can create. To be honest, with this project, it's more open-ended on what you can do. It's just, you gotta think about artistically where you're going to place these images. Mainly, these images are going to be, either things that people do or items that are important to you. So, Yeah, just experiment with the overlays.